So forgive us if you feel like I pay for Ari problems. Don't say I go. Yeah. This guy does an introduction. He introduce himself. And you.
Yeah. So okay. I hope you're well. I'm a recovering drug addict. Been on drugs for 17 years. I didn't look like this when I went into rehab. You know, I used to tell myself that I knew too much. I decided that I hated school, but I loved education. So I went to go learn alternative education via things that I could control. But what you don't realize is you find other people who decide and determine their own rules in life. So I went and I made friends with gangsters.
So all the seeds are so before already now for harvesting. How many people are complaining about opening up the industry? How many people are complaining about poverty? How many people are complaining about the monopolization, or that's the term,
Who's
of
saying
the world?
this? Who's saying
okay,
this?
This is a verse I wrote, right?
I actually feel sorry for President Zuma.
Why?
I don't hate him.
Yeah.
I hate what he allowed to happen to the country. That I hate.
Okay.
But I think he was used.
If you had a day, a month to run government, what are the 3 things you do, and what are the 3 things you'd eliminate in a nutshell? We're running out of time.
First thing I would do is I would do what President Reagan did and do a fireside chat and take my fellow South Africans into my confidence and tell them exactly what's going on. I have a problem that all of our politicians for the last 10 years have treated the voters like fools.
So let me think about this properly. I'm trying to strategize my break away from poverty. The God in me reminds me of the things He promised me. So all the seeds are sown before are ready now for harvesting. So pardon me, I'm trying to conquer this monopoly and sort out my affairs like I've taken up monogamy and possibly bless the people who have sponsored me through my hustling phase when I had nothing but a prophecy, philosophies of how the end of me became the start of me. Because when I died, to sought the Holy Spirit got in me. I suffered properly. My circumstances bothered me until I found out that the devil and his goons were around.
As you know, they were low unto themselves, and before picking up cigarettes, drinking alcohol, the first thing I ever took was rock at 15 years old. It was on the 26th of February 2006. My aunt passed away on the 13th of February 2006, which is why I didn't really celebrate Valentine's Day. Till this day, it's quite an emotional thing, because that woman, no matter what she did, she always used to empower and help others in the community, which is where I got it from. So fast forward, you know, I matriculated, and instead of going to school, I decided let me go in and get work in America. As part of this course, I went to go work in America, and I learned about quality service. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of the Ritz-Carlton. Do you know about the Ritz-Carlton Hotel? Yeah. So the Ritz-Carlton Hotel is a 5-star, 5-diamond company. Their hotels are curated by a particular service level standard, and I got to understand that service delivery is what separates you from the rest. So more relevant to what you're learning here, I saw in the front page where they probably wrote a disclaimer. It says, by the end of this course, you will not be able to take the RD exam. I need to say that's a promise. It's a promise that says you will not you're not going to get an automatic guarantee of a pass, right? Then there's a sub disclaimer which says the prerequisite is that you do the work and you apply the work. This is something that we learned at this 5-star, 5-diamond institute, that what separates us as hoteliers is that when a customer complains, we don't shift the blame. We have a credo. That credo says that this is the constitution, similar to what my brother recited. By the way, my brother, what he didn't say, very humble, is he's the chairman of HNI, which is Hospitals and Institutes. So the people that actually go out and make sure that recovering addicts get the message, which is step 12, carry the message to addicts, which then in appropriation is a credo, which is something that you conform to, which is a regulated thing. right? Because you're taking a regulatory exam. So you can be able to protect the consumer, right? Whilst offering and providing advice, right? He made sure that we are not breaking the code of anonymity with recovering addicts and our constitution. So there's a credo. Understanding what separates you in anything is your will and determination to be authentic to yourself. I see there it says, you know, some people want to be businesses, some people want to work. You are a business.
Personal branding is driven by so many things. It's driven by what people read about you on the web. It's driven by the strength and content of your CV. But it's driven more importantly by when people see you, what do they see and how do they see it? Looking the part is so important. You've got to make sure you're in shape. Nothing fits better than a well-fitted suit on a well-suited body. The second is you've got to groom, so you've got to keep it clean. One of the things it says to people is that you care about your appearance, but also that you pay attention to detail. The third thing I'd say to listeners is make sure that you know your color, because we all have a color. Now, if I do black on black, it's just black on black on black. It doesn't come across really well. You've got to make sure that you contrast those colors and that you use those colors really, really effectively. The final thing I'd say to listeners, you've got to smell right, eh? The smell is everything. There's something about having a particular scent. If you buy something and you stick to it, it becomes, you know, sort of your signature.
Whether you work for somebody or you don't. So you need to carry yourself in that compliance of saying, I need to be educated, I need to be sufficient, and I need to be committed and dedicated, and I need to be accountable. That's your compliance to yourself. Before you want to go and work for somebody, before you want to offer anyone advice, that's why I say, don't ever take advice from an addict. We can only suggest. We can suggest to you that you take a particular guideline and a particular course, but it's up to you to take the personal responsibility to do something and change, right? So, you know, the public gave us this opportunity to come and talk to you guys, but I feel I've been learning a lot by the fact that you guys are sitting here and you're doing something and you're applying yourself to changing your lives and getting access to know how money works, who and how it can work for you and how it can work for others. Who knows? One day we could be looking at the Fortune 500 that comes from Africa, that comes from this room.
Yes.
That's the potential.
Cook.
Manolo has been looking for Umama for years. He almost didn't make it today because he had to go do service. And I said, oh, you know, and sorry for breaking anonymity, but I said, my name. At the end of the day, you know, you do service all of your life. God is sending you somewhere. Cool. You know, allow yourself to be served. Because us as addicts, we've done so much wrong. When someone gives you a gift, you're always looking like that. You see, so I said, no, come. Now look, it's not me. So when we also go and I'll wrap up with this is close to my journey. I have two daughters now, two different mothers, unfortunately. I never wanted to raise my children in step families and things like that, but I felt like I was filling the void by creating children and trying to find and deposit love into someone else. I didn't know how to love myself. So there's two things you find in recovery. It's the gift of desperation, which is what takes you to the journey to recovery, which takes you in rehab or an institution. Because if you don't find an institution, you'll find jail and death. Right? So there's two things you'll find. It's either the gift of desperation, which leads you to recovery, and then when you find recovery, what keeps you on the road to recovery is good orderly direction. So I want to say suggestive. I'm not giving you advice, but what will keep you on the path to or the road to success is good orderly direction. If you find yourself in a struggle, find the next right thing to do. And you will be successful. It's not difficult. It's not difficult. Success is not, I've been there, I've been down. But now when I'm down here, I've been doing the next right thing. What is the next right thing? And sometimes you know that it's difficult to do the right thing, but it's either you do the hard things to make life easy, or you do the easy things that life will be hard. Okay, thank you.